The most significant schoolboy rugby showdown on the surface of the planet comes around once a year, and it's about to go down right here at the Faure Street Stadium. This is the big ticket of the Super Quick Premier Interschool season. This is the 2019 Paarl Derby. Boys High take on Gimmies for the 103rd time in the culmination of an entire week of Interschools competition in front of an audience of over 20,000 people. This place is packed to the rafters with raucous fans of these two pillars of South African schools' excellence, hankering for the next edition of this auspicious derby, dripping in over a century of history with a catalogue of Springboks that have made it their own. Paarl Boys High and Paarl Gimnasium are about to renew their age-old rivalry once more on this glorious afternoon in the Cape Winelands. Head-to-head, it has been neck and neck. The last 8 fixtures, Paarl Gim have won 4 and Paarl Boys have won 4 themselves. So this might be seen as the tiebreaker. There are the Paarl Gim supporters, boys and girls, and there are the pictures of the players that will be taken to the field. Heroes worshipped around the school. And now we are looking at the Gimnasium lineup. Do watch out for Kerwin Gapster, built kind of like his coach Peter Rousseau, the Springbok. Also watch out for Bobby Alexander. His future, it's like the rent, always rising, never falling. The oval ball is clearly calling his name. He is the South African schools representative from Gimnasium this year. Their outside backs are pure danger. And at the back, they have a man by the name of Swanepoel, first name Tian. Rolls like Royce, shines bright like neon. And he does not always go on the counter-attack. A measured number 15 operates almost like a fly-off in that position, and he will have to be on his best form because Kian Meaden, the SA Schools fly-off, will be turning out for Paarl Boys and pinging the ball all around the field, making Swanepoel work. We're now looking at the Paarl Boys High players. Do watch out for Kian Meaden. As I mentioned, he plays with his eyes up, reads the defense. He is blessed with the gift of vision. He takes the ball to the line, and his boot is immense. Tyler Box is massive in the midfield, and that's where Boys High may just have the advantage. Plenty of South African schools representatives in their team. Watch out for Kewin Horn as well in the centers. Javier Farmer scored a brace of tries in last year's derby. As we go through the pomp and ceremony that precede this fine occasion. All of the schools ready to sing to one another, the players back to the fans, and the fans in turn. What an occasion this is for the city of Paarl. And alongside me, I get to introduce a good friend of mine, former lock for the Blue Bulls, Mthunzi Mabeta. Mthunzi, this one's right on the line between these two sides. So little to separate them. Who do you think has the edge here this afternoon?
Wow, Paul Stubbs. What an atmosphere. What a pleasure to be here. You can see the dignitaries shaking their hands. This is a huge day in Paarl and a huge day in World Schools Rugby. Over 20,000 people here. It is absolutely incredible. A peach of a day. We can expect to see some running rugby. They'll love that in the stands. Two sides with some brilliant coaches. Peter Rousseau for Gimmies and Peter Engeldahl. This is his first Interschools derby.
Mthunzi, you know Peter Rousseau personally. Had some coaching experience with him in your days of the Bulls.
Yes, I did. And what a man and a fantastic coach. He's just so good at player management. A key tool to have as a coach, especially at school rugby. He's done so well with this Gimmies side. He's really brought them up. They've lost only 1 game this entire year. That came against Grey College. So they've been in brilliant form, and I can't wait to see the battle, strategic battle we're about to see.
Now, both of these sides have only lost 1 match this year, as Mthunzi mentioned, and both of them lost to Grey College. The rest of the year, it has been a perfect record. Boys High did manage to draw 1 game at the beginning of the year. Peter Engeldahl is the coach. Only 2 of their players will be returning next year. Is there a lot of pressure on Boys High to capitalize on them and tricks that they have in their team?
Well, as you know, this is a neutral field as well, so no home ground advantage or anything like that. Their season will come down to this game. Huge for them. We know how big this game is. I can only imagine for Peter Engeldahl as well. So look at the pitch. Look at all the huge portraits, framed portraits of the first team players for both sides. The flags are out on the pitch. It's just incredible to be here, Paul Stubbs.
Absolutely incredible. Almost a Champions League atmosphere here at the Faure Street Stadium. Now tell me, Mtunzi, which players are you looking out for from the Paarl Gym side today? They have some dangerous outside backs who I'm keeping my eye on, but where do you think the game will hinge for the side in maroon, green and yellow?
Look, we know Kerwin Gertze and Stravino Jacobs, powerhouses, but Tiaan Swanepoel is going to be the key at the back. We can expect these sides to kick and to use the boot to try to play rugby in the right areas. We can expect both sides to play total rugby. We know Boys High have got an impeccable center pairing with Tyler Box and Kewan Horn, but the fullback Tiaan Swanepoel for Gimmies is going to be vital. He's going to have to cover. They love spreading the ball wide to Boys High. They're so dangerous with ball in hand, and it'll be important for Tiaan Swanepoel to control that back three to make sure that defensively they have numbers.
Oh, the festivities continue, and they will continue until the beginning of the match. The school song being sung.
Wow. Well, what a performance by the conductor and all those schoolboys in the stands. If that is anything to go by, great start for Boys High.
They will not be lacking for spirit here today, and the same could be said for Paarl Gim, who will be singing their school song shortly. Look at the condition of this field. Paarl Mountain in the background, this glorious region of our country. The Gimmies showing their guts.
Well, take a look at that. Gimmies responds to Boys High. Great response. We could hear a little bit of a difference in the tones in that stand. Girls and boys in that stand. Paarl Gym, a co-ed school. What a start to this derby. Played 10 games in the past 10 years. Won 5 and 4, drawn 1, lost 4 and 5 for Paarl Gym. Only 3 points separating.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy, Mtunzi. Over the course of over 100 years of the playing of this derby, the average points difference between these two sides is 5. 5 points separate them down the line. Nobody gives an inch in this Paarl derby. What an occasion and what a privilege to be here this afternoon.
Yeah, that does reflect the intensity of this derby. Brilliant. Paarl boys, they've won their past 5 games. The last one against Paul Roos, 29-16, a good win for them. Their last one rather against Rondebosch, 47-10. So they're coming into some good form. Boys High looking dangerous. This Gimmies side, Paul Stubbs, something else, isn't it?
Absolutely. Bobby Alexander, for me, is at the heart and soul of all good things in this Gimmi side. The number 9 is live wire, and that's why he's been picked for SA Schools. That man, Mthunzi, we were just speaking about, Marco van Rijn, brother of Ernst van Rijn, head boy of Paarl Gym. He might be able to run the lineouts, and the set piece could be the difference in this fixture.
No, 100%. See the war cries on the pitch and in the stands. This is a huge derby day, a big moment for the head boy, Marco van Rijn. He's going to be vital for Gimmies. They'll look to try and dominate, at least in their lineouts. But of course, Boys High knows that they'll be putting pressure on them. They've been prepared. They know their lineouts will be under pressure, put under pressure by Marco van Rijn and Reinhard Kraus. Set pieces will be so important, especially off of the kickoffs as well. Quinton Immelman, the referee today.
Look at those colors there, Mthunzi. The flares are out, the colors are in the sky and on the field. We are moments away from the 2019 Paarl Derby. Up and away from Tiaan Swanepoel. Nobody claiming this except Stravino Jacobs. What a start to the derby. Gimmies straight onto the attack. Bobby Alexander playing it through the forwards first. Jovan Becker sends it wider. Now cutting in with a barnstorming run, Liam Compion. Bobby Alexander. That's off to Jandre Berger, his fly-off, who will have to run the show today up against hefty competition in Meaden. Continuity early on from Gim is impressive. Here's Bobby Alexander. In goes Pieter Siebert. He is a dominant player. Built of granite, that flanker is. Inside ball to Ethan James. The battle in the centers will be a big one. Boys High might just have the edge there. Gerard van Niekerk on the run now. Alexander keeping it in the forwards are Paarl Gim, Reinhard Kraus. Alexander. Short one again for Pieter Siebert. Alexander, inside ball from Berger. Boys High defense looking solid. Bobby Alexander keeps it moving. It's been lost over the shoulder. Knock on is the call from Quinton Immelman. Some aggression away from the ball. Well, Vian van der Sant, he certainly got the spirit, the number 8 for Boys High. Mthunzi, what a start to the game.
A great start to the game. The number 1 and number 2 of Gimmies have 15 tries between them. We just see Gimmies using their forward pack. Bobby Alexander, that time, is one of the men we're talking about. Gerard van Niekerk, the number 1 for Gimmies, just unable to hold on to it. And there you can see the aggression and the mind game starting nice and early.
Stepping into a big number there, Evan Roos was in the number 8 jersey for Boys High last year, ended up being South Africa's finest schoolboy player. He is an absolute beast of a man, Evan Roos. And now Vian van der Sant must take Boys High forward this year.
Get up, get up. Just going one way. Step over, please.
Mthunzi, we get our first chance to see the forward battle, which may just decide this match here in the scrums and in the lineouts as well.
And you saw the weights, only 8 kg separating the two sides, so right down to the weights, these sides are just perfectly matched.
Crouch. 5. Set. Stay down.
Away it goes from Boys High. The clearance is from Jacques Rousseau. And the number 8 that I was speaking of is Gideon van Wyk, and not Vian van der Sant, who's in the 9 jersey for Boys High. But Gideon van Wyk, who lit up the Craven Week, who's going to have to dominate in that 8. Here are the fans. And the old boys are in high spirits.
And the pounding of the heart. Still, Gimmies with ball in hand. They have possession and will be putting pressure.
He is a dead-eye thrower in a line-out. Liam Compion, and he hits his target first time up. Pieter Siebert receiving it in the 7 jersey.
Use it once.
The call from Quinton Immelman is to use it once. Gim have no control over this, it would appear. And Boys High win the possession as a result.
Just stellar defense coming in from Boys High. Crowds behind them. It was a good take from Siebert. Good to see the compete as well from Boys High. Gideon van Wyk getting nice and high. Great defense from Boys High though.
let's play. Sorry, gents. It's got a shoelace here, gents.
So they've been able to absorb the pressure with some really strong defense. Have boys high.
Now the number 7, Pierre Gsiebert, receiving it at the back of that lineout. Mtunzi might just speak to what we were talking about. Paarl Gim will back themselves in the lineout with a jumper like Marco van Rijn, a head boy of their school, and also Siebert moving at the back. Boys High may just struggle to get possession if they lose control of the scrum and the lineout.
No, exactly, and that's why it was so important to take that kickoff. Fortunately for Boys High, though, they've got that incredible defense to lean back on, and that's gotten them out of jail. They've got possession of the ball now, although they're still in their half. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
And it comes, quick feed coming from Vian van der Sant, and he does manage to get the ball away. Kian Meaden off to Tyler Box. He will be crashing it up all day long. Sent the other way by Vian van der Sant, stepping from Javier Farmer, scorer of a brace in last year's derby. Boys High with their first opportunity to have the ball in their hands, and they appear keen on running from the get-go. Kian Meaden looks for space on the left wing, but here's Trevino Jacobs. He is pure danger on the counter-attack. The first man gone. He is well marshaled by Boys High, who are in over the ball, looking for the turnover. Desperate for it, and the crowd rising with them. It does come back on the side of blue and white. Sent to the open side, head down, crash ball from Neil Fenter. Van der Sant, Meaden. Sharp flat ball to Reinsberger, who is a mobile prop. And that has fallen loose from the rack. Loose play from Boys High, then a forward pass from Van der Sant. And Boys High's first attacking opportunity breaks down on the halfway line.
You see Boys High kicking the ball back. They get the turnover. She's a very good player, Alistair Williams, hooker for Boys High. You can see they're looking to throw the ball out. Forwards linking very well. Reinhard Reinsberger linking with Williams well.
What about that, Mtunzi?
And the atmosphere is just so thick, you can feel it in the air. Packed up to the rafters.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Bobby Alexander. Real chaos at scrum time. Nobody getting the upper hand as yet. Jandre Berger seeking touch. This one's being chased. And Javier Farmer does manage to marshal it into touch. It will be a put into the lineout to Paarl Gim. Yet another attacking opportunity early on.
Some really brilliant play from Jandre Berger, isn't it? Saw the winger had come up a little bit too far, expecting them to run the ball, and he finds some space. Good work from the fly-off.
Watch out for a highly accurate throw from Compion here to set up a possible rolling maul for Gim. This time it is inaccurate over the top of the line out. Disappointment for Paarl Gim.
No hands now, Gim. Thank you.
Now will Boys High choose to clear straight away? It would appear so from the way they're set up. Back it goes to Rousseau. And Jacques Rousseau with a fine clearing kick that wrong steps the Paarl Gim man. And into touch it goes. Balanced match early on, still 0-0 after 7.5.
Did well for Western Province in the Craven week. Jacques Rousseau. Good exit from Boys High. Still though, Gimmies with ball in hand.
Another opportunity for Compion, this time rising high to receive is Marco van Rijn. Captain courageous, look at that running in the midfield. Men over the ball with hands on. Tyler Box, he works hard in the number 12. Van Rijn keeps it moving to Swanepoel. Evades the on-rushing defenders and sets the rack. Alexander looks right, goes left. Both sides keeping it very tight early on. The aggression of the Boys High defense evident in that tackle. 4 players wrapping up the Gimmy. Moved on by Jandre Berger. Fine fly off in his own right. And now looking for gaps, Ethan James, but he's pummeled into touch. Neither side finding a chink in the armor early on.
Come, line is yours.
Just tries to go outside and take a look at that brilliant defense. outside backs from Boys High, spot on defensively, brilliant from Boys High in the first almost 10 minutes of this game.
And it comes from Alistair Williams. Perfect line out for Boys High. Down off the top to Van der Sant, and they're running it in the midfield. Strong contribution from Neil Fenter. Couple of dummy runners in the forwards, and it's Osh straight up the center. Osh, he's taken his man on. Osh, he's dropped the hammer. He wants it all. He's all the way. Angelo Osh snatches the first points of the derby.
All smiles in the stands. It's just brilliant play. Van Wyk with that short pass. It's just so excellent. Look at that, the sidestep. And then it's just gas, too much of it. Great try for Boys High. They use their ball, their first chance, real attacking chance. Van Wyk does so well to find some space around that ruck, and what a start for Boys High. The defense has been brilliant. And there we see how good they are in attack as well.
Meaden. He puts it up. This guy's boot is classy, but he cannot add the extra 2 this time. It's 5 points to 0. Mtunzi, I want to look at the dummy play next to the rack here.
Look at that brilliantly timed run by Angelo Osh, the speedster. Still has presence of mind just to confuse the defense, pointing out to his hooker Williams. Too much speed. And a great start for Boys High.
He runs like he's carrying 2 buckets of water in either hand. And it works out for him very well. Swanepoel sends it high. Snatched out of the air by Evan Rood. Evan Rood heading backwards. Gary Owen, fine contest from Osh, who will claim this. Diving down and grabbing it is Juan Wilson. And Boys High will have another chance to attack. Oh, pinning his ears back. Pierre Siebert.
Bondage over.
Bondage now over, sent wider by Berger. Ethan James getting involved again. Really struggling to make headway through this Boys High defense, but we saw from Angelo Osh's break, it just takes one broken tackle. Now Berger, he sends it to Jovan Becker, who drops his head and takes it into contact. Berger with the chip over the top. It might just work to break these defenses open. No mark on offer as Osh was not in his own 22. But he's set off on a run now. An aggressive tackle brings him to deck. So will come back on Boys High side, and they have numbers on the right should they choose to use them. And yes, they do. And it's a way to Javier Farmer needs to set up his man and send it. And he's been wrapped up in a strong tackle. Boys High retain.
Couldn't survive.
Almost stolen, but they managed to hold on. Off the juggle, the crash ball continues. And now Van der Sant has had enough. He puts boot to ball. Jean-Ray Berger back there to weigh things up. The number 10 for Paarl Gim sends one towards the touchline, but it's gone far too far into touch directly, and will head back to the spot from whence he kicked it.
Yeah, look, not much of a valuable kick coming in from Vian van der Sant, straight down the middle of the pitch. Good positional play coming in from Jean-Ray Berger. But unfortunately, he has the right thing in mind, but you've got to execute that because they did have a counter-attack opportunity as well there. Instead, they give away possession, and Boys High now in a good take.
It is a good take. Another fine line-out from Boys High. Doesn't look like the line-out has any troubles thus far. And Box almost making some space in the midfield. Dummy and go, they're finding space next to the rack. Boys High will have to respond to that, or rather Gimmies will have to respond. Meaden, he sends it wide now. Reinsberger's been hunted. That is a fine tackle. And a penalty comes the way of Gimmies.
You've got to release the ball. You tackle.
Not releasing the ball after the tackle. Somebody shot up out of the line and made a humdinger of a tackle there.
Just remember, once you tackle, you got the other place to pass it, okay?
Burger finds a decent touch. Fast, brilliant hit. But he has to let go of the ball to stand up again.
5.
Rainsberger, been impressed with the discipline from both sides, though both sides technically sound so far. Not too many penalties being given away.
2. White.
Compion feeds. Does work out this time for Gimmies, who set the rolling maul. This is one of their strengths, and they've used it to great effect, especially so against Southern Suburb schools. Liam Compion scored a hat-trick of tries against Rondebosch, 2 of which came from the rolling maul. But this time they've lost it again. Once more, Boys High have come away with possession from that rolling maul.
And Paarl Gym, who have really controlled most of the possession in this game, must be asking themselves a few questions now. Impenetrable as the defense from Boys High. It's a picture-perfect line-out. Great throw to the captain, Marco van Rijn. But how impressive is the Boys High defense at maul time? Unable to get it out, Gimmies. So Boys High now with the put into the scrum.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Van der Sun feeds. Plenty of territory is in the hands of Gimmies right now. Boys High have been pinned down in their own half for the majority of the match. However, if you look at the scoreline, they are leading by 5 points to 0. Van der Sun, he's been taking a lot of responsibility with the boot and getting great distance. But here's Jacobs again, one-on-one with the front ranker. Oh, he's dealt with 2. And into the contact he goes, buying time for his teammates to arrive. Alexander, that is a mighty flat ball from Reinhard Kroos.
Tackle, tackle!
Tackle called, and he must be released now, the Gimmies player. Quick ball for Alexander. Berger, an offside call against Boys High. There's an advantage being played. Alexander keeps it moving.
10. Too early.
All the pressure being applied by Gimmies in the opening 16 and 17 minutes of this match. There's Kewan Horn, another one of the Craven Week representatives.
Taking a shot at goal.
What do you say to that call, Mtunzi?
Look, it's a good call. Obviously a little bit shaken by a magnificent Boys High defense at line-out time. So going for touch, maybe not really the right call for him. Rather keep the pressure on, get some points on the scoreboard. Well, strategically, I like that choice, Paul Stubbs.
2 penalties, 2 kicks to touch, 2 line-out drives, and 2 failures. Mtunzi, how do they address that situation, Gimmies?
Well, look, they've got all the skill in Marco van Rijn. They've also got all the options in Pierre Sibert at the back of the line-out. We've seen them go for that option. It's worked well for them. Compion, spot on. He just got that one overthrow. So some question marks, but so impressed with the way Boys High is competing as well.
Jean-Ray Berger, does it have the legs? It does not. It will drop under the crossbar. And the scoreboard remains 0 for Gimmies thus far. For all of their effort, all of their territory and possession, they have nothing to show for it.
Decent kick from Jean-Ray Berger, 50 meters out. About half a meter under the crossbar. Unlucky for him, but still they will be able to keep ball in hand and attack now.
Interesting flat 22-meter dropout from Boys High, which does not get them as much territory as a high-hanging one might have, but Tyler Box now with ball in hand crosses the 22-meter line of Paarl Boys High. They're now set for a kick. Kian Meaden, their trusted general, sends it downfield. Tian Swanepoel and a collection of counter-attacking options for Paarl Gim around him. That touch backwards will not help the initiation of the counter, but Swanepoel's boot is highly accurate. He sends this one back Paarl Boys' way. That is some aggressive running down the touchline right in front of the schoolboy fans. Tackled into touch as Gimmies respond. And now tempers are beginning to flare. And that's not what this derby is about. This is a derby played between friends that share the same town all year round. But of course, once you take to the field, things can get a bit hairy.
Numbers,
It was Javier Farmer standing up to his opposite number there. Of course, he scored a brace in last year's derby.
Open. You can come in, it's fine.
Have all the confidence in the world coming into this. He'll need it.
Van Rijn is up to receive this straight down off the top to Bobby Alexander. Burger. A move through the hands of Dutoy, and now on the outside is Tiaan Swanepoel. Penalty comes the way of Gimnasium.
Entry.
You would imagine this might be out of the range of Jandre Burger, judging by the last kick, so perhaps another touchline.
Yeah, when the referee Quinten Immelman, the right place at the right time, makes the right call, and Tyler Box clearly coming in from the side. It's a good tackle by his outside center partner Kewan Horn, but you can see there he's not coming through the gate.
Captain.
Paarl Gim with another opportunity around the 22 to launch an attack from their lineouts. They've only won about 60% of their lineouts so far.
This one goes to the back, just brought down on the fingertips. And now moving forward with the rolling mauler, Gimmies with Boys High in the side there. No such call. Jandre Burger keeps it moving. Aggression in the midfield once more, but they're wrapped up. And Boys High have the Gimmies up off the ground here. This should come back their way again. And yes, it does. The defense of Boys High has been stellar, and Evan Rood nods it in for his teammates.
Nothing was formed.
For sure. There's the man of the moment, Stas now.
That's why good coming from the side.
Take a look at how he gets in there, holds the man under the armpits. Strong work by the number 6 flanker, Nel. Almost the entirety of this first half, 76% of it has been played in the Paarl Boys High half.
Sets.
Just a phenomenal set. Look at the scrum. They must stop after 5 meters at schoolboy level. Quinten Immelman gives the penalty the way of Boys High. They're standing up strong in the tight 5. That was believed to be one of the battle points that Paarl may come out on top. But at scrum time, Boys High are holding their own, and perhaps they have the upper hand.
And also at maul time, look at that, it's a tight scrum. They just wheel it to there, get the left shoulder.
Yeah, penalty, yes. No, penalty.
A big opportunity now for Boys High. They've only had 1 or 2 lineouts. Brilliant touch finder. Puts them right up now in the Gimmies half. Their first time being able to launch an attack in this half. So their defense just so immense for Boys High.
Sea of blue and green, maroon and yellow. In this packed Faure Street Stadium as they're fighting for the ball at line-out time, and Gimmies finally get up and contest and win one back to their side. Crucial line-out win as well.
Thank you.
Boys High in over the ball. Nobody has kept their feet though.
5.
Alexander de Burger, there's space on the outside and numbers for Gimmies should this stay in field. Jacobs is chasing, and Angelo Osh does very well to cover and nullify that opportunity.
Well, I'll tell you what, Paul Stubbs, Jandre Burger is finding a whole lot of space right behind the wingers.
You're the captain, you're not going to scream
A little bit too far forward for the fullback to collect. And just enough space and enough distance for his wingers, Javino Jacobs, to chase it down, and Gertze.
Out.
So perhaps if he gets that right, he's able to execute with his boot. Gimmies might have found a bit of space in this Boys High's defensive line, which has been impeccable.
Stay back, 10.
In it comes from Campion, down off the top from Van Rijn. The lineout is starting to work like a well-oiled machine for Gimmies. Into the contact goes Juan Wilson, their hard-working number 8, Bobby Alexander, Van Niekerk. Boys High defense is just holding firm at each and every turn. Stop and go from Siebert. Trying to impose himself physically on this Boys High defensive line. But it keeps driving Gimmies back. They'll need to get inventive with the boot, and that may fall to Bobby Alexander and Jandre Burger. Or will they find gaps on the outside now? They're dangerous back three. Yet to get going, but here's Swanepoel. Across the 10-meter line, Alexander. Back the other way now. That is hard running from Lonel. Jandre Berger over the top. It's evaded both players. Stravino Jacobs once more must clean up. This is when he's at his very best.
Offside.
Ooh, Bobby Alexander had a chance to tap and go there. Very few of the boys' high players were back in position, but he's thought better of it.
Thank you.
Very interesting decision there. They're trying to keep their cool clearly here, Gimmies.
Calls from the AR midfield.
Really good maturity shown by Bobby Alexander. SA Schools player. How brilliant was he in the Craven Week? Such a live wire at the back of the scrum and the ruck.
The midfield offside.
Making his way from the field for boys high is Ion van den Berg. Not sure quite what the problem is. We'll get an update as soon as possible, but clearly in some pain, Mr. van den Berg.
I suggest you speak to your gents about penalties in this half. Very strongly. No. Speak to the guys, please.
With the second opportunity to knock the first 3 points for Paarl Gim. In your screen right now is Jandre Berger.
Well, the old boys seem to be confident.
Aren't they always? Berger. That's a clean hit. It is straight through the posts. The first 3 points for Gimmies.
Yep. And the old boys in the stands knew it. The students love it. And Gimmies finally get some points from the immense amount of pressure they've been putting on boys high. Although boys high has been absorbing it, defense can be tiring. The second half will be a different ball game for boys high. They need to keep ball in hand and start attacking a little bit more.
Meaden launches it high. This will not be contestable though, landing inside the 22-meter line. Siebert receives, begins the counter-attack. Very difficult to bring down. And Gimmies are full of energy now after their first few points. Reinhard Kroos carrying it. Bobby Alexander to Jandre Berger. Berger sends it high and mighty, the sun shining into the eyes of the boys high fullback Jacques Rousseau, who went on that barnstorming run just earlier down the touchline. Now Swanepoel plays it inside, and running right back at them is Juan Wilson. Wilson running free, but he goes to ground before he can release the ball. The rising noise of the crowd perhaps filtering into his ears, and white line fever striking, but Juan Wilson cannot complete that one. Great run though.
Oh, what a counter-attack. Juan Wilson backs himself, pins his ears back, and just tried to offload it. There was no one on him. Could have gotten it away, so I can't really blame him for going for that offload, but unlucky, just unable to pass it into the supporting player's hands. And boys high get out of jail free, but you start seeing the gap starting to come now as we enter the last 12 minutes of the first half.
Very tasty stuff. This match is heating up, and here's another powerful scrum from boys high. They are dominating the scrum battle now officially. Tyler Box manages to get that ball away just as he's going to ground, and that is the 10-meter line of boys high. Meaden looks up again and sends it to the right of the field where Swanepoel waits. All on his own, he should not be counter-attacking this one, and he does not appear keen. He chooses to use the skills within his boots, and here on the touchline is Meaden. He sends a long one into Rousseau. Rousseau taking on defenders. Can Gimmies get in over the ball? No, they cannot. Back where they started, boys high. Working around the corner. There for support is Reinhard Reinsberger. What a player he is in the #1 jersey for boys high. And now they send it through Van der Sant to the right. And Kieran Horn finally with hands on ball. This guy lit up the Craven Week in the 13 jersey for Western Province. And he has seen very little of the ball so far this afternoon. Van der Sant back to the open side, and it's Evan Rude. Meaden skipped past Box to Alistair Williams, keeping it moving wide here. Oh, boys high. And it's Gideon van Beek who sends the inside ball. Van der Sant, Meaden. It's Venter who takes it in.
Ball's available.
Kewan Horn is down injured on the right-hand touchline. Meaden tries to put boot to ball.
Not a knock.
Almost a disaster for Boys High. Paarl Gim do get possession through Marco van Rijn. Here's Siebert. Thinks about the pass, but wisely takes the go forward on his own shoulders. Gerard van Niekerk, uncompromising on the run.
It's a rip, but forward, which is a knock-on.
Clear and quality communication from Quinton Emmelman, highly experienced referee, overseeing proceedings today.
Gerard van Niekerk does well, gets over the advantage line, but it's clever work coming in from Kian Meaden, ripping that ball. Unfortunately, Stas now.
You're bordering on being offside, so.
Just not on the right side of that, so because he ripped it, it is a knock-on, and Gimmies will keep possession of the ball. Good attacking position. See Stravino Jacobs and John du Toit coming onto the left, the short side.
Raj.
Just enough space on the blind. Will they use it?
Bind. Set.
2 points separate the sides after 30 minutes of play. Alexander plays it to the left. Berger. Oh, one more pass to Stravino Jacobs there. Might have found him in space. John du Toit is the one that takes it into contact. Crossing the 22-meter line of Boys High, but control has been lost by Gimmies, and they continue to frustrate themselves after creating such wonderful work. What a counteract that was from Reynard Kroos. Frustration proving very effective for the number 4 from Gimmies on that occasion.
Oh, definitely Paul Stubbs and Paarl Gimnasium. They will be getting a little bit frustrated. Siebert does so well taking the ball up. Just gets onto a player's hands in the ruck there, so they lose the ball and they're just not able to get the phases going, get some momentum.
Raj.
The boys and girls of Gimmies are having a great time, as are the boys of Boys High. And of course, Paarl Girls High, who come to support Boys High as well. Kian Meaden with yet another clearing kick in this first half. Stravino Jacobs off the fingertips. Oh, he's got the spirit, he's got the talent. He takes it to the line and instead of crash ball, decides to be deft, use the boot, put the pressure on Boys High, and he's there for the hit. Clever play from the number 11, Stravino Jacobs.
Now he's joined by his winger, Kerwin Gertze. Very strong defense.
Line is yours.
Clever little chip. Great covering coming in from Farmer, though. Rousseau, just brilliant. Stravino Jacobs. It's a big hit. Uses the touchline to its maximum effect as well.
Gimmies right onto the attack. Running hard in the midfield. Here's Siebert. Stepping off the left, he has increased in his ball carry as the minutes have ticked away in this first half. We have 3 remaining. An advantage has come to Gimmies. An advantage which could see them take a lead should they go for the points. But wide it goes to Gertze. Gertze for the corner. Kerwin Gertze.
Well, this is a tight one, Paul.
Try given. Quinton Emmelman extends his hand to the skies, and Gimmies have their first try. It's Kerwin Gertze.
Kerwin Gertze, right down in the corner. It was a good pass from Meaden. Tammy's on the inside. Rousseau does so well to stick on him, and oof, that's so close.
If people are going to throw things.
Really looked like the knees may have been in touch.
It's a great pass coming in from Jandre Berger. The dummy inside, Rousseau doesn't fall for it. Oof, it actually looks like Gertze gets it down.
Elevated his feet off the ground, which saved him as the knees were drifting towards. These are the beauties of not having a TMO. It's all up to the referees on the field. And Mtunzi, I think they might have made the right call. Jandre Berger to add 2 more points, take it to a 5-point game. This will be a tough, tough kick. Well, that's one that started far left of the posts. It will not have the requisite curl. And as the seconds tick away in the first half, here's one last replay of Gimmies' first try.
Such strong defense from Jacques Rousseau, but it looks like Gertza just lifts up his boots. And although Rousseau is complaining about it, brilliant defense, and it looks like the ball is down. It's just a centimeter, isn't it? Brilliant finish from Gertza.
And that's crazy. Meaden. Up it goes. What a take this is! And charging right at them is Gideon van Wyk. Chopped down in the tackle by Stravino Jacobs, and it all goes to waste for Boys High. Once more, a rush of blood to the head, snatching a try away.
Gideon van Wyk, the SA Schools eighth man, chases up, goes over the head. Should have given it that time. Angelo Osh, the speedster. Yep, just gets it mixed up in his head. What a brilliant take from him from that kickoff. We saw Stravino Jacobs do it for Gimmies earlier.
Level, thank you.
And now a rare occasion, Paarl Gim in their 22, looking to exit. The first time in the first half.
Fans of all ages make their way down to Paarl to support
Crouch.
this classic derby.
Bind.
Massive opportunity, Mtunzi, for Boys High to show the scrum dominance which they have been showing in this first half, perhaps snatch a try before the end.
No, exactly, and at the death, how important will that Paarl boys scrum be now? Fans behind Paarl Gym, so loud, Paul Stubbs. What an experience.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Massive scrum for both teams. Bobby Alexander dummies the feed, and they do get the free kick. Sweet relief for Paarl Gim, who surely now must kick to touch.
It was clever play by Bobby Alexander, wasn't it? Just delaying the put-in. Could see that Boys High needs to hold and wait on the push. So an easy exit then for them, and surely this will take us into half-time if they find touch.
Berger kicks for touch, and Quinton Immelman's watch is the one we go by. So in spite of the fact that our clock has gone red, there's clearly still one more play at least to be had in this first half. And Boys High have the put into the line out, namely Alistair Williams. Marco van der Rijn rises high and snatches the ball away from Boys High. They need plenty more of that in the second half. Disrupt that set piece of Boys High. Stravino Jacobs, what's he thinking here? He's thinking counter, and he's thinking start from deep. Taking care of a couple of players. Gimmies, their ambition here is admirable, but can they make it all the way upfield? Or are they setting themselves up for pain should Boys High turn the ball over in this area of the pitch? Set again just outside the 22 of Gimmies. Bobby Alexander away to Berger, who launches one high and hanging. It may just bounce towards touch. No, it keeps in field. Boys High have to make a choice, and it's Osh. Osh to start the counter. What a grabber that is. Towards the touchline, should go out, and it does. And that whistle brings an end to a fascinating first 35 minutes here at the Faure Street Stadium in Paarl for the 103rd playing of the Paarl Derby. Paarl Gim and Paarl boys going toe-to-toe here, and there is very little to separate them. There was very little to separate them before the match, and it remains just so. 3 points between the teams, 1 try each. It's 8 points to 5 to Gim. We are back at the Faure Street Stadium in Paarl for the second half of the 2019 Paarl Derby, the crown jewel of the Super Quick Premier Interschool season. This is an event of colossal importance. Over 20,000 people packed into the stadium enjoying what we've seen thus far. But Mtunzi, we were speaking at the halftime break about how these two teams could improve their stocks here in the second half. What can Boys High do? Well, maybe we can discuss that in just a moment as we are about to kick off once more, courtesy of Kian Meaden.
then we give them the answer. Bro, that was, I love that.
Paul, you guys ready? Boys, you guys good?
Ready we are. "35 minutes remain to decide who will claim the honors here in 2019 in Paarl. Stravino Jacobs, he is irrepressible, and now he's going for gold. He takes the lead on, and Jacobs has been chopped down in a magical tackle from Angelo Osh.
Penalty advantage, entry.
That is dedication on defense. Berger sending it the other way, juggled in the midfield. Gimmies have come out of the change rooms on fire, and John du Toit took it in that time. Wilson back on the inside, building momentum with Compion. Bobby Alexander, multiple options. He hits Gerard van Niekerk. Penalty to Gimmies. They are piling up against Boys High, and they got a warning earlier in the first half. Too many penalties.
That's the one thing about having a perfect defensive line, is that you need to stay on sides.
Good turnover.
Giving away those cheap penalties, as they're known, is just so costly. And as you see now, they're going for the three-pointer. That is the only thing separating the two sides, and it's just going to be tough for Paarl Boys High once that defense isn't working for them. Stravino Jacobs gets through. We know how powerful he is. What an asset to this Gimmies side. Steps Rousseau. Brilliant ankle tap coming in. A great scramble from the Boys High players.
And there's some Gimmies old boys. Jean-Ray Berger to take it to 11-5. Clean strike from Berger, straight over the bar. Joy on the touchlines. Walls and oceans of supporters all around the ground. From those attending to the school, to those that have left, to those simply here as fans, and there are many of those as well.
What a start to this second half. Paarl Gim with a perfect start. Just gives them that mental edge now, Paul Stubbs.
There's a caught on the pitch, which is dangerous.
A little more work to be done by the Paarl Boys High players now.
Well, we'll have to look into what's going on there. Kian Meaden launches it for Boys High. Underneath this, Juan Wilson. Oh, yes!
Balls out!
That is a good, strong hit from Boys High, and the pressure is on. But it will be a scrum to Gimmies. It seems that the kickoff is where both of these teams can apply the greatest pressure in the match. What a hit on this occasion.
Well, what a start for the substitute, Eric Basson. Smashes him. Both sides really pitching up.
Again, guys. No pre-engagement.
Brilliant response coming from Boys High. They needed that.
On the AR, back. Thank you.
Paarl Gim still, though, have ball in hand and an opportunity to exit.
5. 6.
Bobby Alexander feeds. This scrum is well contested. It seems to have come into balance, the scrum battle. Stravino Jacobs chasing this one up on the touchline. It should go bouncing end over end into touch. A well-measured kick, well-marshaled by the Boys High defense, and eventually cancelling each other out. Perhaps a metaphor for the match thus far.
No, exactly that, Paul Stubbs. Jean-Ray Berger has controlled this game with his boot. He's asked all kinds of questions to the back three of Boys High.
4.
And for me, it's been the big difference between the two sides. Excellent execution.
Trick play from Boys High, cleverly so. Alistair Williams sends it to the front, and clean ball for them to run with. The back line of Boys High has not been employed nearly enough in the first half. They need to find a way to retain possession and start locating their danger players. Sent to the open side again by Van der Sant. Oh, yes! Uncompromising tackle from Peter Siebert, planting Osh on his back. Now Tyler Box in the midfield. This is more like what Boys High are capable of. Kewen Horn on the outside, not receiving it in motion as he may have liked to. Van der Sant back the other way. On rushing defense of Marco van Rijn. head boy and captain. Box turns to the boot. What a kick that may be. Men on the outside for Boys High, in position to receive. What a covering tackle, but it may still be on. Boys High keeping it alive, support in position. They have crossed into the 22-meter line of Gimmies, but that is Gimmie guts right there. Stand up and be counted on defense.
We knew it was going to be a huge battle in the midfield between the centers. That time, John du Toit.
Yes,
Brilliant steal on Tyler Box. And we see how dangerous Boys High looks when they start using Tyler Box and Q and on. They've got SA schools and SA academy players practically from 9 to 15.
And that's what we were speaking about at halftime, Mtunzi. How is it that Boys High can overcome what they've been doing in the first half and win this match? What a kick from Box, first of all.
Once they include him, a great take from his outside center, Q and Horn, a good offload to Osh. What a great steal, though, from John du Toit.
Huge pressure on Campion right now.
Thank you.
So the coaches have had a few words with both sides. You can see strategy has changed, looking good.
Stay in.
Campion right in front of the Paarl boys crowd. He nails the line out once more. Marco van Rijn. The strength of Gimmies that we mentioned pre-match is showing up big time in both halves thus far. And it's forced Boys High to get ingenuitive at their own lineouts.
Own man over his own man. No, not.
Now we're playing it blind, and it's Jandre Burger. Is this one going to stay in fields? Yes, it will. Right in front of the Gimmies boys and girls who rise in appreciation.
Oh, he's been sensational as the number 10 for Gimmies, Jandre Burger.
Substitution 13.
What an asset that boot of his has been.
Time is off.
For his side, definitely in the first half and now in the second half as well. The entire game plan, you can see he's the nucleus of that.
Oh, here is a big change, Mtunzi. Number 13, Q and Horn.
Time is on.
South African Schools A is coming from the field.
If somebody falls in,
up and Rikas Jonk comes on to replace him.
Another one straight to the front of the line out by Paarl boys. Paarl Gim have not woken up to it after it happened to them the very last occasion that the line out was held. Van der Sand turning to the boot again. He's taken plenty of that responsibility. Stravino Jacobs underneath this. Danger man, I don't need to tell you that by now. Boys High in over the ball. Cannot secure the turnover. Just inside the boys half. Boys High half right now. And into contact goes Reinhard Kroos, who has been showing up big time in this match. Burger sends it wide through du Toit. Skip ball over the top for Gertza. Not many opportunities in open space, Gertza, and in spite of that, he snatched himself a try.
No. Thank you.
Alexander. Wilson. Watch out for Bobby Alexander. He could write his name large on this match at any point. He is a sniper as well as an administrator from the number 9 position. Gertza may not have enough power to keep himself in field, and it proves to be the case. Toe-to-toe, Mtunzi, no inch or quarter being given. This one is skin tight.
Boys High looking a little more dangerous when they start using their back line, start running the lines we know they can run. Gertza, dancing feet, does well, but it's good defense coming in again from the substitute, Cameron Hanekom.
3 from 3 lineouts for Boys High under pressure. That is brilliant work to make sure they're retaining as much possession as they possibly can. Almost breaking through in the midfield. Gimmies defensive line rushing up fast, and this time Williams is brought down. Enormous spaces in behind the Gimmies line, especially so on the left-hand side. But as for their defensive line, it is holding very strong to the straight line running which Paarl Boys High are offering up right now. Another crash ball option from Boys High. And then to the boot from Van der Sand. Over the top it goes. Swanepoel. Measured kick to touch. And that is a humdinger from Tiaan Swanepoel. Chases up to ensure there's no quick throw-in available. And this number 15 has been marshalling this match from the fullback position. Putting masses of pressure on Boys High as well.
Numbers.
Up they go, boys high, 4 from 4 in the second half. It's going very well at the line out. Into clears Van der Sant, and this time it's Kian Meaden. He sees Trevino Jacobs in position and he kicks it straighter down the field towards Tiaan Swanepoel, the man less inclined for the counter-attack.
Stop 7.
And Swanepoel does put boot to ball, send it to Jacques Rousseau. Rousseau is very isolated. He'll be brave to start it from here. Rousseau breaks his way through the first tackle impressively. And down he goes. Challenge over the ball from Khamis, but it will come back on Boys High's side. Struggling to make meters with ball in hand, both of these sides. And so far, Van der Sant's boot has not been finding spaces for Boys High to advance their cause. Penalty comes their way. Mtunzi, both sides still struggling to break each other down. What advice would you give to either one?
Tackle is 7. Come.
Well, look, Paul, they just need to start diversifying the way they're attacking and using their backline. Not many lines being run by the centers. The fullbacks aren't really joining the line either. They're keeping things very simple and playing a more conservative game. You can understand that it's a huge derby. You can expect that test rugby style of play, the boot being used quite a bit, but it does become a little bit predictable. See Kian Meaden staying in field very well there. So Boys High with the line out.
Another one, perfectly executed. This is massive for Paarl Boys High, getting these lineouts right here in the second half. Meaden continues to be the general for this Boys High team in the 10. Van der Sant looking for the hard runners. This time he finds Alistair Williams. More crunchy stuff from these Boys High forwards around the corner. Just hauling themselves forward, Boys High, movement by movement. Van der Sant misses out on the first runner, and now it's Box. Really need to see him in motion.
No hands!
Catching the ball while running, challenging the shoulders of these Khamis defenders. But they'll be happy with the phases they're building up right now, Boys High. Up to 8.
Step.
They continue with the muscle. Van der Sant with the short ball. Boys High making meters. Khamis, do they have enough in the tank to stop them here? There was Tyler Box stopped in his tracks. Meaden employing the footwork.
Roll tacklers!
That attacking initiative is shut down as quickly as it began. Keeping it short, Paarl Boys.
Step.
They have nobody spread for opportunities on the outside. Just Javier Farmer on the right, on the left. They've given up hope on that. It's going to be crash ball all the way. Pass through the hands of Alistair Williams. And Van der Sant gets a quick ball. He throws the dummy and goes inside the 5-meter line now, Boys High. This is a colossal opportunity for the boys in blue and white who continue to pick and go around the corner. It's all on the line. Khamis showing guts, holding them out. Meaden, he looks up and sends it wide. This is going to be a test. Rousseau can't hold on. The opportunity is shut down by desperation. But it was knocked on. Brilliant work from Gertza.
Really good work from Kerr and Gertza. Their back three's positional play has been sensational. Khamis, good defense. Rousseau just unable to hold on to it, and we see Angelo Osh sprinting onto that. Brilliant defense from Gertza though.
That was a try. If he didn't get that hand on the ball, that last hand is so crucial.
Yeah, and Peter Rousseau will be really proud of the defense from the two wingers. They've performed well on attack and defense. They've reacted very well. You can see they're communicating brilliantly as well. Tiaan Swanepoel, such an important part of that.
And Juan Wilson, their powerful number 8. Wouldn't want to see him go from the field. Oh, well, it's a family affair here in Paarl. The number 15 for Boys High, Jacques Rousseau.
Time is on.
It must be his sister there in the crowd enjoying the Paarl derby. So wonderful to see.
So, need to keep it honest.
That victorious Western Province Craven Week side and the Western Province 15 as well were giant killers. Had every opportunity of making the final, just missed out to the Bulls. Rugby in the Western Cape and in the Boland region, it is mighty strong.
Oh, no, weren't so many people looking forward to hopefully maybe seeing that in the Craven Week, the Western Province 15 versus the Western Province side.
Would have loved it, loved it. And Kian Meaden was in charge of that Western Province 15 backline.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Shove from Gimmies, not enough to send Paarl backwards. Oh, Van der Sant is chopped down at the knee, and he's lost control of the ball. What a tackle from Lonel.
From 9. Nothing's going to change it. Thank you.
That is just brilliant play. Yep, you see Van der Sant saying, wasn't that a grass cutter, as it's known, but look at how quickly comes out of there, and it looks like he's trying to use his arm there low now.
Looks to be wrapping the arm there. Tried his best. Van der Sant has been busy today.
No, he has tried to connect with them, played for Western Province in the Grand Como week 2 years ago.
Set.
I think if you have no provincial representation, you must feel left out in these two sides. Bobby Alexander to Stravino Jacobs. Backline was offsides. That is a pivotal error from Paarl Boys High. They've squandered this field position.
So from the scrum,
they've given away
5. You've got to stay 5 meters. You cannot retrieve up.
Cheap penalties like that. That time it's Stas Nel, and I think he was penalized earlier for being offside. So the Western Province 15 flanker played in the Craven Week, allowing Gimmies to get out of jail free, and
so keep it 5.
All that pressure now dissipates.
Well, that kick might just put the pressure back on. Hooked into touch.
Numbers 4.
And Boys High will have to contest at this line-out. Now they've been getting their own line-outs getting them right in the second half. Let's see how well they can contest.
Stay there.
Paul Mountain in the background. No contest from Boys High. Van Lorraine going up to receive imperiously. Juan Wilson with the dummy.
Tackle. No hands.
Standing in the center. No hands. Loudly called by Quinton Emmelman. Gimmies again. Jandre Berger wisely so turning to the boot. This one will remain in field. Jacques Rousseau. He backs himself on the run. Made a big impact there. And makes sure that Boys High retain possession.
No hands, no hands!
Constantly now looking for the turnover, both of these teams are. Meaden sends it out to Reinsberger, who has scarcely been involved enough. The free running number 1. Behind the gain line, Alistair Williams is hunted. Gimmies defense is stepping up in a big way in the second half, advancing off of their own line and catching these Boys High players where they stand. Van der Sant once more. How many times have we seen him turn to the boot just like that today? And Juan Wilson sends it right back. This one will be bouncing infield. It should not be heading over the dead ball line, but it will go over the try line for a 22-meter dropout.
Got an injury there, gents.
Real chess match that we're watching here in Twinsy. Both of these sides now realize it's just a 6-point match. Any one mistake could be the difference.
You're not going to scream holding penalty.
No, it could, and as long as Jandre Berger is finding a bit of green behind the Boys High pack and back line, it'll be very difficult for Boys High to get any sort of attacking territory, which is, they've just been starved of that, and Gimmies have done so well putting their game plan around Jandre Berger, and they've done really well at executing their chasing lines as well.
Well, many a Springbok has been produced by Paarl Gim. Such a proud history. Currently the number 2 in the country. They've lost only 1 match this year. 24 Springboks they've produced, including their coach today, Pieter Rousseau, including Kobus Visa, currently sitting in Afrikaans commentary for SuperSport. Jean de Villiers, captain of the Springboks. These are no regular Springboks. These are big-time Boks.
Don't you just remember the brilliance of David Barry and Marius Joubert?
Oh yes, those were the good times, and the good times should be continuing at the World Cup this year. Do keep tuned for that. But right now, we are back at the Paarl Derby, and Juan Wilson has the fire in his eyes. Bobby Alexander. Kraus, who continues to impress with every touch of the ball.
Thank you.
Bobby Alexander off to Berger. In motion now, the Gimmies backline, and they're finding support. It's Swanepoel on the outside, back inside. Unbelievable. Ethan James has lost control. The old boys can scarcely believe it. It must be burning inside his heart right now.
Oh, it is, but look at the high fives and the support. They can't believe it in the stands. But so good to see that. Look at Herzer coming in, giving his teammate a high five. It's just brilliant camaraderie from this Gimmies side. Good hands out wide. Ethan James does well with quick hands. He's there in a great supporting line, and he can't believe it.
Wow, that is heartbreaking stuff for the outside center.
You can definitely expect in the last 15 minutes for this game to open up now. Boys High need to score a try.
Bind. Set. Stay in.
Van der Sant feeds. The volume has been increased on the Gimmies side after that break. Meaden. He feeds it to Rousseau.
Thank you.
Van der Sant not using his own boot this time, sends it back to Kian Meaden. SA Schools fly off, who kicks towards touch. But here's Stravino Jacobs, half man, half amazing, who continues to impose himself. Bobby Alexander gets it away. The aggression of Gimmies is quite evident here in the second half. They are angry, but Boys High with a turnover of note, and at a pivotal time as well. Herzer is onto this one, but we will be stopping for a scrum down to Boys High. 20 minutes gone since the halftime break. What a crucial tackle that is, just around the shoelaces of Rikus Jonk.
Alvin, Boys High just need to keep it a little more conservative, hold on to the ball, keep that back three of Gimmies guessing until some space opens up. No need to go for the offloads. How brilliant has the substitute, number 20 for Boys High been. He made that big hit with his first action of the second half. Cameron Hanekom has been good.
Set!
Well, in the end, the scrums have all gone according to feed. Van der Sant away to box to set up a backline move, bringing in Javier Farmer. Scored 2 tries last year, has not had a sniff of one as yet in this.
Stay down, stay down.
Back it goes to Meaden. Reading the game well, he sends it downfield. Here's Stravino Jacobs, though, never afraid to run it back at them. This time he uses the boot again. It's high, it's hanging. It should be marshaled by Rousseau.
Stop, out!
It is cleared again, straight downfield, a nothing kick really, and Juan Wilson notices that and begins the counter-attack against the broken defensive line of Boys High. They organize the game now. Siebert sends out the pass. A strong hit from Tyler Box, who appears to have felt that. A drop goal attempt. Is this one flying true? No, it's away to the right of the posts. Very interesting option. That would have taken them beyond the 6-point margin. They're living on the edge right now, Paarl Gim, leaving this match at a 6-point difference.
Yeah, they are, Paul Stubbs, but you know what? It's just brilliant control of the game. Andre Berger, he's gained a bit of confidence now. His boot has been really working well for him throughout the game. And he goes for a drop kick. Why not? They're still going to get possession of the ball after the 22 drop kicks to them. So it's just been a very impressive strategy from Gimmies and executed really well by the players. The forwards, the fly off Bobby Alexander as well. His delivery's been excellent. And that man, Jacques Rousseau, has got such a useful left boot on him. He just hasn't been able to use it to great effect in this game.
I know you guys are
troubling looking injury after the kick. No contact on that. Those are always the most distressing ones. Let's hope that it's nothing to do with the Achilles or perhaps the calf there. It looks like that's where the pressure may be. And here's how it has gone over the past 5 years. Boys High, they went unbeaten in the country for 3 of those seasons, 15, 16, 17, under the guidance of Sean Erasmus. And then he got his final gift from Boys High, winning the derby in the 150th year last year. What a coach he was. And Boys High will be desperate to keep that tradition alive here. 4 in a row.
What's name was called already before that? Sorry. 22 was called already. There we go.
Well, it's setting up to be the last 10 minutes of this derby, you can expect it to be on fire.
Time is gone.
Meaden launches it. Underneath that to receive it, Juan Wilson, Jandre Berger. Not a great pass from Juan Wilson, and Berger is hurried into that kick. Plenty of pressure on the receipt from Boys High, but Faure does well.
You're off your feet now, thank you.
Khami's lose their feet. The back line is not in position for Boys High, and they continue to be trapped in their own half. They have struggled to find space behind the Khami's defensive line because of the organization of Tian Swanepoel, Kerwin Gertster, and Stravino Jacobs. This one is launched high. Once more, it'll be Jacobs underneath it. Stravino Jacobs, how many opportunities will they give him to run right back at them? Bobby Alexander sends it left. Jandre Berger. Siebert does get the pass away.
Stop you guys, stop,
Working
stop.
hard on the left touchline, Khami's. Paarl boys over the ball. They think they've got the turnover. Quinton Elmermine agrees. Less than 10 to play in Tunzi.
Oh, we can see the players now in the peripherals stretching their calves. Cramps will be coming in now. They're starting to run the ball. They need to run the ball to Boys High. They need to keep possession of the ball, most importantly. Especially when they're in the right places of the pitch, as they are now, on the 10-meter in an attacking position. They await in the stands because they know how important this set phase is going to be for them.
It's absolutely massive. Time ticking away. There's Javier Farmer, who is just getting some treatment, rising back up to his feet.
Time is on.
How dearly he would love to get the ball in some space and show what he can do.
Look, we've seen Boys High use that trick play into the front of the line out. So they know they're under pressure and they know how important it is to just keep ball.
Concentration on the face of Alistair Williams, rising high to receive that. Gideon van Wyk, no contest from Khami's. Box gets it out. That looks like a forward pass, and a forward pass it is. Much to the chagrin of the Paarl Boys High old boys who are right underneath us, making an unholy noise.
Forward pass.
Well, the referee Immelman gets it spot on. Look at that, it is forward, but it's a brilliant line run by Jacques Rousseau, and Boys High just needed to be doing that a little bit earlier in the game. I feel they've kept it a little bit too late, but brilliant line run by the fullback Rousseau.
Surprisingly played this game very tight, in spite of the quality in the back line.
Rutsch. Find. Set.
Bobby Alexander. This is a blindside move on here. He sends it to Gertzer. They're not sharp to it, Boys High. There's space in behind. Gertzer over the top. The chip, the chase. Kerwin Gertzer! This derby is all yours! It's all yours, young man!
What's the time there?
Wow, they love it in the stands. Gertzer, the gasman, he chips it. It's a foot race between him and Farmer. He skins Farmer. Good skills and a lucky bounce of the ball, but look at that. He keeps working and touches it down. What a finish from the winger, Gertzer. And look at that. The old boys love it.
Remember how it feels. Oh, the adrenaline of youth. The feeling of the derby. Have Khami's taken this one for their own now? Time still on the clock, but Boys High have been stifled up until this point. And Jandre Berger with a difficult kick to extend the lead.
I would say Kerwin Gertzer. He's done well on defense and he just scored now. Well, he scored the 2 times.
Jandre Berger starts it left, it curls back in, and that is a banger of a kick to take the scoreline to 18 points to 5. Arms in the sky, it's party time.
Gertzer had so much work to do, saw some space behind. There's been space. this entire afternoon for them. Gets a lucky bounce. Faure tries hard, but Gertza keeps working and gets rewarded in the end. Great try.
The battle of the outside backs has proven to be a big one. We haven't seen enough of them, perhaps. Boys High now desperate. Absolutely desperate. They must score. Khami's all over this ball. Have they kept their feet? No, they have not. And Boys High consolidate here. They're inside the 22-meter line of Khami's Rainsberger now. Over the ball for Khami's again. Wow, that is dangerous. That is dangerous. Van der Sant sends it open. Boys High still keeping it tight. And this Khami's defense has knocked them back time after time. Crash ball after crash ball. Boys High keeps sending in, and here's Rainsberger once more. He evades the first. And look at that ball. That is way too slow. Boys High now with 5 minutes to go. They really need to increase the tempo and decide how it is they want to cross this whitewash. Because the forward runners are not coming at speed as yet. And now they have a pod out just beyond the fly half. Taking it in is Cameron Hanekom. Open side again, almost finding some space. Evan Rude. He has been massive on the carry. Turnover ball for Khami's. The consequence of that cannot be underestimated. The clearing kick coming from Jandre Burger. Into touch to rapturous applause from those in green and yellow and maroon. Wow, this has been a tightly contested match. There's Rude, so proficient on the ground with steals, as well as on the ball carry.
Right three.
Where he is a sledgehammer, very much in the mold of a Peter Steph Dutoy, if you will. And we have more injuries for Boys High down on the field. That's Sebastian Lombard. Boys High have very much stood up well in the scrum battle, which it was estimated may go the way of Khami's pre-match. However, both of these sides have outstanding front rankers. Amadou van Rijn has proven imperious at line-out time, but Boys High have found a solution to that. And as a result, there are 13 points now separating the two sides. Massive try just scored by Kerwin Gertza, his second of the match. Last year it was Javier Farmer, the number 11 for Boys High, scoring. That is Tian Strauss, a man who played for the Bucks and Australia, who's in the crowd today. And there are the boys and girls of Paarl Gimnasium. A whole week of interschools competition, all sorts of sports enjoyed, and it culminates right here. Another perfect feed from Alistair Williams into that line out, and Paarl Boys High now, they want to get their rolling ball going, and they have it on the march. Khami's will have to infringe in order to stop that, and they do. That's the first rolling ball from Boys High. And they have managed to stop a weapon of Gimnasium, which is the rolling maul of their own. So of that they can be proud. However, they have struggled to create scoring opportunities of their own today. Meaden kicks the touch. The time is right now for these Boys High players. We have about 2 minutes left to play. The try needs to come, and it needs to come quickly if there is any hope of victory that remains. Williams feeds the line out. It's bedlam at the set piece, but Boys High come piling through, putting pressure on Khami's. Quinton Omelman calling the players away from the ball. Bobby Alexander will send it back for the clearance to Jandre Burger. Burger under pressure. And it's a clean strike, well into touch, no chance of the quick throw-in. Time is ticking away. After 4 years of success for Paarl Boys High, is this the time that they usurp control of Paarl back to Paarl Gimnasium? I can tell you that the Gimnasium fans are starting to make their way down from the stands so they can rush the field in a show of confidence.
Who's the receiver?
Williams, another fine line out from Boys High into the hands of Evan Rude. To their back line, Box sends it wider, struggling to find the space to complete their backline moves or any moves on the outside, Boys High. To the left-hand side again to Farmer. Excellent hands. Farmer's away from the first and the second. Farmer back on the inside. Oh, that is fiery footwork, but brought down by Khami's. Van der Sant sends it open. They need this try to come right now. Khami's, they just need to hold on for a few more seconds. Meaden with the grabber. Oh, my goodness. It was on for all money.
Offside.
That's the game right there. Heartbreak for a hero, Gideon van Wyk. Represented province at the Craven Week meet and put it out there for him. The bounce is good. The bounce was good. Almost up into the bread basket. But the desperation on Gideon van Wyk's face and writ large in his body posture now. That means that Gimmies can start to celebrate, and the flares are
boys,
out
15
again.
boys out. And 10.
There's a band in picture there as well that have been keeping the fans singing all afternoon long. What a glorious occasion this afternoon in Paarl. And we're into the final 10 seconds. Boys High will be disappointed.
Time is on. Offside. Let the player first come down. Do not touch him in the air. Understood?
Onto the field just briefly for Kian Meaden. And now Boys High, they want to finish with pride. Tyler Box, headmaster at the School of Hard Knocks, the number 12. He drops shoulder for fun. Desperate for a try, Reinsberger. Trying to reach out and touch. Over the top they go. There it is. Magical stuff from the substitute. Can you believe that? Reese Duplessis, the son of Carl Duplessis. And our clocks are on. Our clocks are on, folks. That means there's one last chance here this afternoon for Paarl Boys High. The game is on the line. We've got a grandstand finish coming. What about that? Superman try for Reese Duplessis. Well, Gimmies dragging themselves back to the halfway line. And I wonder if the pupils will make their way back to the stands. They were ready to celebrate, but now it's back on the line. Pivotal moments these. Tian Swanepoel with the kickoff. Up it goes. Who will get underneath this? The chase is good from Gimmies. Must be secured by Paarl Boys. Almost slipping through the fingertips. Deep within their own half. It's going to have to be special if it's going to happen at all. Angelo Osh. Men over the ball for Gimmies. Oh, the man's lost his feet, that young man.
Man of the match first, man of the match, losing captain, winning captain.
Open side, dropping shoulder and moving forward is Rikus Jonk. Van der Sand taking his time. Boys High must be nervous. No mistakes can be accepted right now. You cannot be tackled into touch. Cameron Hanekom, another one of the subs, doing work on the touchline. And again into the fray is Rikus Jonk. Van der Sand, he's been everywhere today, the number 9 for Boys High. One last chance for Boys High. Control, crucial. It is time to show your caliber as a young rugby player and move your way all the way upfield. Bite down on that gum guard and move forward. Van der Sand sends it open again. This is the spirit in which the Paarl Derby is supposed to be played.
So he ducked into the tackle, that's why just a penalty. Yeah. There's the mark. There. 9. There.
So impressive all afternoon. Another perfect line out coming from Williams and landing in the hands of Rude. It's Paarl Boys in the midfield. Look at where they are in the field now. Approaching the 22-meter line of Gimmies.
Tackle, release now.
Van der Sand sends it open again. A pass away from Stasnell. An absolute workhorse. Has that been knocked? Wow! Quinton Immelman says no knock.
No hands.
And Van der Sand will be breathing a sigh of relief. The number 9 sends it left again.
Leave it now, come, leave it.
Oh, it's fallen loose. The dedication of Van der Sand keeps this match alive. One mistake away from this thing being in the books. And Gimmies will be very aware of that on defense, as will Boys High on attack. Away from Van der Sant again, moved wider by Jonk. That may be a high tackle itself. Yes, it is. Quinton Immelman extends his arm.
That's it. Time's off. That's unfortunate, but it's a second high within 2 minutes. Next one, unfortunately, will have to go if it is a high tackle. Back, back, back. Let him come down first, let him come down.
Williams, another perfect line out, this time to Gideon Van Beek. The set is outstanding from Gimmies, nullifying what may have been a very dangerous rolling maul from Boys High. Boys High retain possession as the sun is set on Paarl. This field now bathed in shadow.
Balls out.
On this colossal day in Paarl, it's missed out too, but it's away to Williams. Perhaps the best player on the field for Paarl Boys High today. They consolidate again, it's Evan Rude. Rude positions the ball well. And Boys High are lined up to the open side.
Get up, get up, get up, get up!
76.5 minutes on the clock now. Van der Sant continues to work in the 9 position and Venter continues to carry. Can the Gimmie Guts hold out long enough? Nobody can afford any mistakes, and none have been made in over 10 phases of play just in this movement. It's taken Boys High so long to get to this position on the field. They've kept their hopes alive with sheer dedication. And now Gimmies appear that they may be fading. Outside it goes to Faure! JV of Faure! Is it real? Let's listen in.
First in there, thank you.
There is! Oh my goodness, this is enormous!
Right on the line, eh? So it's... I've asked you line, yeah. Yes, the line. It's on the line. Jacques Rousseau, it's high, it is mighty.